Now they're telling us like, no, there's nothing to see here. There's no list, there's no nothing, right? Even Musk himself is not innocent because even Whitney Webb, now again, this is what Whitney Webb's uncovered from her investigative journalism.
Yeah.
Has stated that he is even interconnected with these things. What seems to be the main thing that's being covered up here, it's not even so much the, sex crimes, which is obviously one horrible thing, and the trafficking, because that was all connected to the blackmailing. But what Whitney Webb is actually presenting is that it's the financial ties, the financial criminality connecting Epstein and to all of these other actors. Giving me flashbacks to another massive case of trafficking network and, the big P word, which happened in Belgium, which was the Marc Dutroux scandal. Oh, many people don't remember that, but that was one of the biggest scandals in relation to this back in the 90s, which also, by the way, that trial, it kept going on and on and on. They kept delaying and delaying up until the 2000s. I think he was then properly convicted. But Dutroux said multiple times he wasn't even the guy. He was just the bagman. And then the other guy called Nihul, who was this bigger character, well-connected. Well, Dutroux kept saying there's all these other people. I can give you the names of the elites, and it involves the royalty and all this, and businessmen and international characters. The judge was, at the time, interested to listen. The two private investigators who had found the girls that were the most recent ones that had been kidnapped by him and were missing, they were interested in hearing other stories relating to this because many other victims came forward, the ones who survived previously. And we're talking about this network in Belgium.
Yeah.
And conveniently, what happens? Well, what do? The judge, Jean-Marc Connerot, he was removed from the case for attending a charity dinner for the victims' families because they said it was a perceived conflict of interest, basically for having a plate of spaghetti and also giving a gift of I don't know what the hell he gave it. This was called it was a big fiasco because people could not believe that this judge who was so good, they had removed him from this case. And they put another judge who, by the way, was complicit with a lot of the unsavory characters that Dutroux and other victims had pointed out. What shock horror. The other investigators of that I mentioned, who was Michel Bourlet, the public prosecutor, he was removed from his post. And what happened is later on, these the investigators who were taking in all this information from other victims who at the time were not giving, they weren't making the names public except for one who was called Regina Louf. They decided then to publish it all in a book called Dossier X, which I would recommend everybody to go into. You want to look at that? That will expose the whole thing, and it's dark and nasty. But what happened in the end is they pinned it all on Dutroux, who was just the bagman. Okay, nasty piece of work that he was. He was just the underling bagman. And on his wife, and on also his friend. Nihul got scot-free. That guy was the more important guy, connected to the media, and nothing came about it. And there was a massive protest. It was the biggest protest in Belgium ever. It was called the White Protest because everybody wore white shirts and everything, and everyone was sickened by it. And to this day, no justice for all those children, all those victims, all the things that are still being perpetuated by that trafficking, because the trafficking still goes on. So yeah, they covered it up, and it was the biggest shit show because actually the police were involved. Hell, everybody, even a lot of the prosecution and defense were involved. So yeah, this does happen. So that was what I remember just when I heard this. And so when I read this article where the guy says, well, oh no, of course it's, should just believe what the DOJ says. It's not like the DOJ hasn't messed up as well, right? In the past. Because actually, the DOJ have messed up. If anybody remembers the handling of the Russia investigation or Crossfire Hurricane, that was a mess up they did. And that was back in the time of the 2019, when they identified 17 significant errors in FISA warrant applications, including omissions of exculpatory evidence, by the way. This was under Comey. That's another guy. Like, just because we have Pam Bondi, who was appointed because of Trump, doesn't mean that this is any better. This is the problem that people forget. And we can go on and on because the DOJ isn't innocent. They've had a lot of problems. Like I can name them all. There's also been how it was later revealed. There was the Ted Stevens prosecution in 2008, where the DOJ prosecutors withheld exculpatory evidence again, which is what they're kind of doing now. But they're claiming, oh, it's too graphic, right? The Ruby Ridge siege of 1992, that was a nice shit show. I'm sure people remember that. The fatal standoff at Ruby Ridge. Yeah, well, federal agents shot and killed Weaver's wife and son when they didn't have to. The whole thing was all heavy-handed. Another case, the Wen Ho Lee case, 1999 to 2000. Again, the DOJ, they messed up a Los Alamos scientist who was accused of espionage for China. I mean, we can go on and on here. Fast and Furious operation, that's a very famous one. DOJ and ATF allowed illegal gun sales in the US, hoping to trace them to Mexican drug cartels. Yeah, that was exposed later on. That was under actually Obama's presidency. Michael Flynn's case, the 2020 controversy, again, I mean, we can go on and on and on here. It's like the DOJ has a key pattern of mishandling things and not being fully transparent. So I'm not really surprised that they're going to come out with this type of thing and make the claim that, oh, there's nothing to see here, folks. There's nothing to see here. There's no client list. At the same time as the Attorney General stated already that it was on her desk. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically the DOJ, Department of Justice, like fucking up on different accounts.
In almost every case. Yeah, we can unpack all of it, but yeah, it's just that you're not going to get any truth in this. You're not going to, but I can tell you that the truth is actually more obvious than not. And the reality is we know that he was connected to all these people. And actually, as Whitney Webb presents, what seems to be the main thing that's being covered up here, it's not even so much the heinous, sex crimes, which is obviously one horrible thing, and the trafficking, because that was all connected to the blackmailing. But what Whitney Webb is actually presenting is that it's the financial ties, the financial criminality connecting Epstein and to all of these other actors. And by that, I mean characters, well known, okay? Because that comes out, it's a big deal, right? Unfortunately, it seems to be more of a big deal than people's lives. But it's about the money. And so that's the big thing, right? Because then that will basically convict a lot of other people. And they don't want their names to come out. And that's the problem.
So like on the one hand, we have the Epstein case where they've said that they don't have a list of like people who attended Epstein's Island. On the other hand, they used to say they had it. On the other hand, we have the Department of Justice who's not really doing anything, and then who have a track record of screwing up on a lot of different important cases.
Mm-hmm. Elon Musk tweeted, we have the tweet, I think it's in our docket, I saved it because he deleted it. But when he tweeted, after the feud with Trump and said like, well, the reason they haven't come out with the Epstein list is because Trump's in those Epstein files, right? Well, then lo and behold, what happens is not too long after, now they're telling us like, no, there's nothing to see here. There's no list, there's no nothing, right? And the funny thing about Musk is that he's tweeted out a couple of times as well, again. But what's interesting is that even Musk himself is not innocent, because even Whitney Webb Now, again, this is what Wendy Webb's uncovered from her investigative journalism.
Yeah.
Has stated that he is even interconnected with these things. So, the problem is, I kind of believe it. I believe that they're not all, no one is innocent in this case. They all have their hands dirty to some capacity. So it makes it really hard to believe, who to believe. So you can see that was the original one.
Yeah.
Zoom in. Yeah. That was the original. Time to drop the really big one. He deleted
that afterwards?
Yeah, he deleted it, and you can't find it now. But what's interesting is, so he says, Trump is in the Epstein Files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Now you have to wonder, like, okay, he could be trolling, but the reality is, like, why would he say that? I mean, that's like pushing it, right? And then recently you can see, where is it?
I don't think he would say it if it wasn't true. I mean, he is a bit like quite a character.
Yeah.
But he does have quite a lot of like influence because of X and because of being so rich as well.
I'm trying to find these other tweets recent, or if you go to his
it's weird how he brought it up. Is he just like bitter, like against Trump because of the big beautiful bill which supposedly protects like billionaires and stuff?
Here you go. This was also his recent thing because he calls DOJ findings, there was no Epstein client list, the final straw. So then you have to also wonder, who's really on our side, because you sometimes get these characters who show up, like Musk. It doesn't exist. That's weird. Hold on, let me see if it works for me.
Yeah, you showed me a link that says it doesn't exist.
It works for me. I'll just share it. Hold on.
Okay. How bizarre.
How bizarre. So by the way, this was the video. Let's play this. Hold on. I don't know if you can hear it. Wait, can you hear this?
Thank you very much. Very nice.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yes. We're going to have a little discussion now, very private. And I just want to thank you all for being here. And thank you very much, media. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So private, the whole world's watching.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let me go back. Wait.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Nice to see you.
Nothing. They just ignore it. All right, there you go. So there's
According
nothing.
to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to
at this
Jeffrey
situation.
Epstein's crime.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Wait. So she's saying the entirety of everything is on her desk. It's not just the list.
So she has like the whole world on her desk.
Yeah. All right. That's like okay. Right. Yeah. You got to be born yesterday.
Plus the smirk on her.
Yeah. Look at it. Let's play that again.
So clear. Like the body language is just like screaming that, it's, I find it's like as if she's saying, I find it funny that you're asking that because, the whole situation is a crock of shit.
Yeah, look at this. Let's play it again.
Look at her mouth. The
Attorney General said
she can't lie. Look at her.
Well,
She's
I think
like
if
holding
you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News. Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
Look at her mouth. Look.
And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation.
Okay, so here we go, folks. Here we go. This is just more deflection and babbling about stuff that we like. Yeah, no shit. I don't, as if I didn't know what the FBI does. You're just like parroting bullshit that we know. And then before that, it's like you're saying like one thing. I'm talking about the cookie. You're talking about the whole pack of cookies. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Like,
can I share something similar?
Yeah. Let me just quit that. Hold on.
It's almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
Also during that cabinet meeting, questions about disgraced late financier Jeffrey Epstein. The fresh scrutiny comes after a new report out of the DOJ and the FBI that found that Epstein had, quote, no client list or any evidence that he blackmailed prominent figures. Listen to the president shut down a reporter when attempting to ask Attorney General Pam Bondi about that memo.
Check out their reaction.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this.
They've been talking about him for years because that's when it happened.
Because nothing ever happened. Put it away. Yeah, because nothing ever came about of it. There was never any exposure. Well, hold on, Edge. Okay, I thought something happened.
No, I just want to show over here in this video that these people are not taking the situation seriously, and instead they're dismissing him as a bad guy and to just let it go instead of addressing the situation and investigating anything. Like this is like, don't ask anything, just go with the flow.
Exactly.
I'll continue.
We have all of the things, and are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration.
Now, eventually, AG Bondi did answer.
I'm sorry, what? There's people who suffered under Epstein. Okay, this is like years in the making. Let's say, because there's been nothing revealed, nothing. Like, get the hell out of here.
In February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant.
So straight away, they bundle it up with a JFK thing to make it a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, exactly. And also, here's the thing, right? These people, all right, Trump, all of them, actually, it was part of the reason Trump was elected the first round. He was elected the first round because he didn't have this. He was unfiltered. But these people,
he also said that he would uncover the file.
Oh yeah, of course he said.
For the JFK
these people are all filtered. They all have script writers. They all have speech writers. They all have like a whole PR setup telling them, oh, you should, twist it this way and that. Like, come on now.
Oh, like
you don't think that this is like all like by design?
Like a charade.
Yeah, bro. How many people have watched what is it called, House of Cards of Kevin Spacey, or any of these TV shows where you see the inner workings?
Well, he was.
There you go.
He was touching a guy or something.
There you go. But yeah, that's the problem. And this is the thing. It's always convenient. It's always now the argument is, no, I meant I had all the files on my desk, so I'm looking into it. No, it was a very direct answer. Like, here's the problem. When you're asked a direct question, give a direct answer. Stop waffling. Now you're saying that, oh no, I didn't have the client list.
To be honest, her answer, like, I'm going to tell you, the best lies are ones that are mixed with the truth.
Yeah.
You find a bit of truth here and you think straight away, oh, it's not a complete lie, so it must be the truth.